Bring me that new stadium, bro. Bring me that.
Amazing.
We're already bigger than everybody else by a fairly big way. To suddenly go to 90,000+, no one's touching that in my lifetime. Like having the biggest stadium, I think it's a nice little flex. It's only a small one, but it's a nice flex to have.
I actually like it. I like the idea. I love the idea. I think Sam, because for the majority of the time he supported
This guy
Liverpool.
got the green card, become American.
All he had. Are
you done, Mo? Are you done?
If I'm like,
do you like it when it's like the crypto arena for the league?
No. But I'm gonna tell you the difference. I'm gonna tell you the difference. When my club,
Garden, look at the difference.
When my club win, I don't care about all these names of like. It doesn't matter. At the end, this is the new financial world, and I think because really, I'm being genuinely honest here. Because for the longest time, all you had is to rave about Anfield and the stadium and all the stuff. For the majority of the time, you supported Liverpool. You think this is football. Now your club has won, Habibi. If you want to raise money, and you have to do it this way, they're not selling their stadium. They're selling the naming right. It's still the stadium will still be owned by Manchester United. Who cares if the name is Apple? As long as the name is not the Dancing Stars there, they're not going to play in the Dancing Stars. It's a reputable company that will sponsor the stadium like the Etihad, like the
By
Emirates.
using your logic,
Who
if
cares?
it's the Dancing Stars, there should be no problem.
Why? No. That's not like, it's not related to foot. It's not a big thing. What do you mean the Dancing Stars? You want to name Old Trafford the Dancing Stars? That would be a mockery, right? But if it's named Apple Arena, O2 Arena for whatever reason, it's good. It's not. I don't see any problem with that at all. A Vodafone Arena, whatever.
And I'm a fundamentalist. That's where we differ.
I don't think it's a problem. And by the way, when Man United do this, and they get the 90-seat stadium, and Emirates now have a bigger stadium, and you're still stuck, right? And without raising the money, and you cry on your channel about the what's their name, your owners, whatever their name is, right?
Yeah, but match day revenue.
And you cry about them. You cry about them because they don't have the money to spend. And they don't have money to renew the stadium, and you're in debt because you renewed the stadium and you couldn't find a sponsor, you will cry and other clubs will spend money and then get play. I'm being genuinely serious. You will be crying if other clubs do that and raise money. And it's not a dig at you. It's not a dig at you at all. But your owners, if they don't get the sponsor for the stadium and they have to limit your spendings because they spend their money and they couldn't find the sponsor, you will be saying, why didn't we get a sponsor like these guys? Why did we have to spend the club's money and now we cannot spend on transfers? You sit and complain about the money and they don't spend the money and they tell you, oh, we don't have the money, we don't raise the money and this and that, right? If they get a sponsor and they're able to spend money, you'll be all right with it. If you get the best players around in the world, you'll be able to do that. And you'll be all right with it as long as it's a reputable company and there's no problem. This notion of semantics is strange, bro. Go ahead, respond or do whatever semantic. Do whatever semantics.
No, I'm not doing any semantics.
You're playing on people's emotions, bro. Okay, I'm being serious. Wallah, you're playing on people's emotions. Wallah al-Azim. You are. Okay. You're like, oh, this is Anfield. This is Anfield. Now we want to keep the name. Yeah, at the end, it's all about the money. The Italian league went down because of the money. I'm being serious. You know that more than anyone. You're an educated man, and you know that football is moving towards the money era. Whoever has the money will succeed. Everton has a historic stadium. Leeds have a historic stadium. You need the money. And as long as you get it legally, and as long as you get it the right way, who cares, bro? Semantics again. And all this.
Are you done? Match day revenue, Mo, only accounts for about 3% of the income of football clubs anyway. So even if Man United, let's say, they get 7 million per year and we get 3 million per year, that doesn't make a difference in the grand scheme of things. What separates the Premier League is the TV revenue and how many people watch it globally and blah blah blah, and not the actual match day revenue, because that makes no difference.
That's not strictly true.
That's why the only
factually check the fraud. Factually check the
fraud.
Yeah,
you can fact check it, no problem. The only reason why,
and I looked at this not long ago. I just wanted to. I'm just gonna. Sorry, I need
City
to
only account.
By the way, the stadium is revenue.
I need to.
The only reason why
one second. Let me just. No, it's not. So, for instance, Man United in 2023, match day revenue. of our, I'm just adding this all up here. So it's 5, 6, 7, nearly 800 million of turnover. Just under 200 million of it comes from match day revenue. So
25%.
It's a good. It's sort of between 25% to a third of the income comes from match day revenue. It's huge. So you got to remember. So it's not just the ticket fee. It's like, so when people are in the stadium, it's the drinks they buy, it's the food they buy,
The
and
hotels,
if you suddenly throw
hospitality, right? There's a lot of other stuff.
Hospitality. If you suddenly throw an extra 20,000 people into Old Trafford, you could make an extra million, 1.5 million per match day if you do it right. And if you have how many home games a year, including cup, if you have 20 to 25 home games in a season, including cup competitions and stuff, it's a considerable amount of money to increase. And it's money that none of your counterparts can like get near because you've got more. There's a huge amount of income coming in for that. There's a huge amount of income.
Take the L and move on. Take the L and move on. Take the L and move on.
Are you seeing the new TV deal for the Premier League? Have you seen the stipulations of it and how much money the Premier League are going to make in 2026 or 2027?
No, I haven't looked at it, no.
Match the revenue will be irrelevant compared to how much money the Premier League make. I think they're tripling on their current deal.
Well, I mean, it will and it won't be. The reason why it will and it won't be irrelevant is that what you will then see, typically, I know they're talking about caps coming into what players can earn, but we'll see if that stands the test of time and doesn't get increased. But then you'll just see wages and salaries and fees start going up for transfers. Therefore, match day revenue. Because what I would love to see is a new TV deal come in, and then clubs drastically lower their prices. But one thing about this stadium renewal by Man United is that we're also looking to increase their stadium prices. So not only have an extra 20,000 seats, but they're also looking to up how much it costs per ticket to come into the stadium. So I think the business people involved in this look at it a little differently. But viewers, listen, I want to know what you think and what you feel. And I need to challenge someone in the comments here because I've gone and looked and done the research since we've been talking. So Olu, big up yourself. He's turned around here and says the reason why RB are allowed to buy and sell is because they have separate boards and different decision makers at their club. And I actually hear that as an example. And then you've got Maradon who jumped in and says, hence why Terry needs to do his research. So I am going to put this up on the screen when it eventually downloads. But I went and looked at the Nice board. There isn't a single person on the Nice board or on the decision-making team at Nice that matches Manchester United's. Not one person. There isn't a single entity at Nice, on Nice's board, who matches Manchester United's. We haven't even officially put Sir Jim's name down. He's not even officially a board member at Manchester United. So, if that's the reason as to why, because they have separate decision makers and separate board members, go now onto Nice's website, people, and just put in Nice FC board, and you'll see Jean-Pierre Rivera as their chairman. The CEO is Fabrice, I can't pronounce his name, Busquets. They have the sporting director as Florent Maurice, as an example. And then they have a director of performance called Laurent Perezi. Then they have like academy director who is Manuel Perez. And then they have a performance director. His name is Titu Hassani. So there isn't a single decision maker at Nice, a single board member at Nice who matches with Manchester United's. So again, answer me why, if that's not the case. Again, that's just 5 minutes. So when someone says go and do your research, the reason I didn't go and look at that before going live is that when it was announced that Manchester United and Nice could play in the same competition, the newspapers stated that was doable because their boards and decision makers were different. So therefore, I didn't think I had to say that this time around. So, yeah, please, people, go and find. I'm not saying I know the answer. That's why I want my club to take to find out. But it can't be for board and decision makers because they are completely and utterly different. How is Ratcliffe's name not there? Well, I've just been onto Manchester United website, my friend. Again, Maradon. This isn't. Sometimes you act like I make these things up. If you go Manchester United board right now, unless I've missed it, and if I've missed it, I will apologize profusely. This is what's listed. Okay, board of directors: Avram Glazer, Joel Glazer, Kevin Glazer, Brian Glazer. A name I can't pronounce, but it's Darcy. Oh, it's Darcy Glazer, daughter. Edward Glazer, John Rees, Rob Nevin, Robert something, and Jonathan Hooks. They are our directors. When you then click on the management page of Manchester United, Avram Glazer, Joel Glazer, Jean-Claude Blanc, the interim CEO, and Roger Bell. His name is not there in official capacity. So Maradona, I don't make these things up. I went and looked, my friend. And you can be the owner of a company and not be on its board of directors. Honestly, it's like talking to kids sometimes. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Terry, thoughts on INEOS have done with the women's team? Well, I saw people kicking off about that today, saying that some of our better players are leaving. And it's because they want to try new things. Earps, the goalkeeper, is going to PSG. But we're also linked with the top talent from Man City today as well. So I'd have to do a little bit more research because I don't follow women's football as closely as I would like because I'm very busy doing other things. But I've read some stories that we're linked to other people. When you say what they're doing with it, we'll wait and see. I don't think they're doing a bad job. Just won our first ever trophy as a club. So I'm cool with it. There we go. Called him out. Moving on from Manchester United, actually, I've got some super chats first. What stops us from buying him and not registering him for the Europa? I mean, that's also an option, potentially, but we don't want to do that, but that is an option, I suppose. As a United fan, I understand why they are taking legal action, but it still makes me uncomfortable. It affects the smaller clubs in the ownership more.
Yes, I agree with Patrick. That's always been my logic.
I also agree if you start screwing these smaller clubs. I mean, what's the name of the club that City have just bought that player from?
Girona?
No, but they bought him from their other. He actually belongs to their other club. Is it Troy? I can't remember. It's spelled T. It's spelled like Troy, but it isn't pronounced that way. It's French. Their fans are kicking off massively over it. So that also was where I would be uncomfortable. Is if we started just rinsing Nice. There's no way we should be doing that to that football club. I wouldn't agree with it. Live Guy still sometimes says St. James's Park. Well, it is St. James's Park again now. Giuseppe Meazza Stadium becomes Domino Pizza Arena.
Wait till the San Siro becomes the Pepperoni Arena. I want to see how more.
I hope Hassan keeps the same energy when Samsung offer him 10 mil to change. How do you pronounce it?
El Ahwa.
El Ahwa. And to the Galaxy Football Show. Yeah, if you offered 10 million pounds to change the name of that show, would you do it, Hassan?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Galaxy Football Show. Make sure guys
offer the guy £100 tomorrow. He's changing the name.
It's really funny, right? Because I see YouTubers sometimes that kick off and get really angry. People are sellouts when they have sponsors. And then suddenly I see them doing some work for Bleacher Report, or I see them with a bit of a Manscaped sponsor. And I just think, no, you're only angry because you don't get them. That's all it comes down to. The need for match day revenue is needed because financial fair play is across all spending of a club, not just buying and selling players. Every paperclip is counted. Source, I work for an EPL club. Listen, I hear you. Of course it is. Of course, every area. And that's why Man United are getting rid of a lot of people. Man United will run a little bit like Twitter were before Elon Musk came in. There's just too many staff doing nothing. Too many staff just doing nothing and not earning the club any money. And if you ain't earning or if you're not making a business money or saving it money, there is no point you being there. Like if you don't make your company money or save your company money, because both those things are important, you are almost, you're an inanimate object. You're like a stapler. You know what I mean? A paperclip's actually more useful than you at that workplace if you don't help save or make your company money. It's as simple as that. Moving on.